So what go on?
They saying Speedy.
How you doing?
Not too bad, Been better.
Been better?
Yeah, been a whole lot better. But
Okay
keep
then.
going.
So in the building today we got Warren G, DJ Warren G or Barber Warren G, which one?
DJ Warren. Barbering is in the past. It's DJ Warren G.
Okay.
We can add activist to it now if we want.
Activist. Is that what we're here today for?
Not really. Nah, today's letting people know who's watching this podcast know the struggles, if you want to call it struggles, which is in the black community that's been there for a minute, and it's very much highlighted now. But myself with a team, I think right across England now there's a shift, if we want to say, if we can use that word, there's a shift where the community is realizing that it needs to change, it needs unity to build, because it's in a bad state, our community, but a lot of it needs re-educating.
So what are we specifically talking about?
We're talking about, today I want to highlight the lack of unity for one in our community.
Unity?
Yeah.
In what sense? And what community are we talking about?
The black community.
The black community?
Yeah. The black community, the lack of unity, I feel, and I think it's hindering our progress to strive as a community, to compete financially with all the other communities. We're way ahead of us. Our economy is poor, and I think that's all those things that I've just mentioned is, I believe, a lack of unity within a community that's, as I said, hindering us from striving.
So when you say community, you say black community.
Yeah.
Is there any specifics, or is it you're talking about in its entirety? Because obviously you've got Caribbean people, you got you like when you use the word black, it can extend. It extends very far. So
I use the black community because we will put everything in the black community, Caribbean, African, all of that. We just use it as one, and I don't want to separate it, and I don't want to label other section, just use it as one black community, because each section of the black community is struggling. Do you get what I mean? So if we say all the black community is struggling as a whole, then everybody needs to have a look at ourselves and see if we can start coming together.
For what purpose though? I think for the people then they're gonna need some context.
Right. So
and where does this conversation stem from?
The conversation stemmed from an incident, not from myself. It's not even just from this incident, but obviously I can't say too much about that because it's an ongoing police investigation. But also from years gone by, I've always said our community struggled in terms of everybody else. For example, we have all different nations of shops selling us our products. I'm from the Caribbean, so I will say we get 80% of our products from non-black people. That's a massive problem. Massive problem. And if you look at other communities, they support their shops, they support their economy financially. They build together. And I think over the years, and still, even now, we're struggling with that. And it needs a massive change. Massive change, because I've grown up seeing it. So my children shouldn't grow up being it, living it, and seeing it to the point where they reach probably my age and still thinking, how come we can't unify? Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
But where's this come from though? Like why now? Like why are you choosing to, speak on it now?
I've always spoken it, to be honest, Speedy. I've always spoken and I've always tried to champion the black community in terms of, as I said, to get us to stick together more, to support each other more, to keep our money in our community more. I've always championed it, but I've always had a fight for doing it from the community. Do you get what I mean?
What's the fight?
shut up. We're never gonna unite. You're wasting your time. There's no point doing it. Like plus more. Do you get what I mean? But I don't see it as that. I think the community actually is yearning to be united, but it needs re-educating. And I think it also needs leadership because a lot of these so-called leaders that's gone in the past in the black community here in the UK, they've let them down badly.
So, obviously, when you say it needs uniting, there will be some that will say like that, black people don't want to see other black people do well or and things like that. And then, there's other argument from other people from different backgrounds say like, what's wrong with people buying from them?
Yeah.
So like, how are you tackling that then?
The stigma is there, and I think it's a mentality thing. And as I said, as I just touched on, the stigma is there where a lot of us in the community don't want to see each other go above them, which is, it's a shame. Do you get what I mean? For example, I love to see what you're doing. I love it, and everybody else in the community, I feel, should have. You get what I say, brother? Because it don't make sense. You're looking at someone in your community, in our community as a black community, doing well, and you don't want to support it. You're bad minding it. You're looking at it and say, yo, for example, someone will have, let's use a party, a dance as an example. And, there's dances go on and people, yo, now I got them on the party. Monday I pussy. Monday now I get my money. You get what I mean? But you go up Broad Street easily and go and full up the white man's pocket. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying that instead of going out to the community, spending that money, spend the money there wisely. The person that's receiving that money should use that money to help the community, but it doesn't happen.
But is that a good example though?
I'm using that example because it's probably one.
Because the example, the way that's gonna come across, you went into the yard man mode as well. There,
No.
It sounds like you've gone from a man don't want to go to a bashment dance to Broad Street.
No.
Where should it be like that? Black people should own clubs on Broad Street.
Of course we should.
Facilitate all kinds.
We've been going to Broad Street for years as a black community, but we don't own a club up there.
And is that specifically the problem you're talking about? I thought you was more talking about more high street shops and.
We're talking everything, Speedy. We're talking from high street shops, owning shops on the high street, owning banqueting suites, owning clubs, owning food shops, owning stores, all these things. If you look at the demographic of where we spend our money or where we go, we don't own anything. Everybody else owns, but we don't own anything. And people, I think, outside of the black community realize our spending power. We spend what we don't have, but we don't do that in our community. So the money doesn't stay in our community. For example, if you look and you see, for example, Asian, you go Pakistani, Indian, Chinese, those people money, for example, stay in their community. Days, weeks, hours, literally between 1 to 3 hours. That's how much our money stays in our community. So what I'm trying to get at, if we spend our money in our community and build, we can compete. We can go to, for example, our own clubs on Broad Street, support our own club. Just an example. We can put on events at our own banqueting suites, but we don't have them. We can have a big shop, for example, in the community owned by black people, like Pack Supermarket. We don't have that.
So how do we get that then? And who wants to do that? Like that's another
people
thing.
have tried, Speedy. I know people I've seen people put in the effort to open shop. For example, there was a few years back, there was a black owned shop in Cape Hill called
Mm.
Negril, and black owned.
Mm.
It didn't last 2 years
Mm.
because nobody went there from the community. And I think that was a massive shame. Massive, massive, massive shame. Things like that, I feel, has to stop, because if that shop had been supported by the community, yeah, we probably, within the black community, we probably have to pay an extra 20 to 50 pence or sometimes a pound.
Mm.
But I feel if we spend that to build, it will come down eventually. We can compete with everybody else that's buying or selling for the 20p or the 50p extra. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but how can you ensure that that happens, or that the shop that's supported is using it to reinvest
Well,
in the community then, or in themselves, in order to drive prices down,
yeah,
you know, make the right connections
yeah.
in terms of, you know, import, export, whatever goods it is, and then, you know, continue to build on what they have. Because
Sorry, go on.
I don't think it's just about support, innit? Because like if you can be supported,
Yeah.
but what if you're not? What if you're not? What if that
Using
shop
the
doesn't
money
have the
right.
ambition or you know the education to grow what they started? They might only want to stay small and then taking the support and living off that. You know what I'm saying? Which is not a problem,
Yeah.
but that's where the prices are going to stay the same.
Yeah.
That's where, you know, maybe people that have capitalized off buying products for black people and, you know,
Yeah.
knowing that we're going to need them now, buying more in bulk,
Yeah.
you know, driving down in prices. You know what I mean? Like, that's business.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's one of the problems that you just touched on. At the moment, the community struggles to buy in bulk. And as I touched on earlier on, we need to re-educate the business owners, the people that are importing, on how to do better, which is by coming together and doing what the others do, buying bulk and distributing it within our community. Do you get what I mean? If we start doing that, I'm more than confident, Speedy, that we can compete at least, because most of the shops within our community we go to cash and carries, which we don't own, and as it goes back to the importing, because we don't have nowhere that's importing for us. You get what I mean? So again, we have to go outside the community. So this is why I'm saying ownership. We need that because we don't own anything. So we have to always go outside of the community to buy. Do you get what I mean?
So say for example,
Yeah.
Like I don't want to give no business names, but
Yeah.
like say for example, like a shop that's selling like weave and all them things, or sorry, like let's say food products that are like Caribbean or African.
Yeah.
Where are people going? Where are they getting them from? In you know,
terms of importing.
Yeah.
You get people that have importing license. You get your products from Africa. You get them from the Caribbean. You even get them from South America. And the shops within our community doesn't get them directly from the Caribbean or Africa. It's brought in by people outside of the community, as I've mentioned, and then we have to then go and buy it from them. So we buying it in small.
But where are they buying it from though?
They're importing it.
From Africa?
From Africa, from Caribbean, from other places.
So who are they importing off in Africa?
It's still businesses.
Yeah, owned by who though?
It's still owned by black people.
Owned by black people?
The majority of the farmers in certain parts of Africa, surely the Caribbean, is owned by black people. Africa, I'm not going to give you a figure because farmers in Africa, in each country in Africa, are at this moment predominantly white. Do you get what I mean? I know in the Caribbean, it is predominantly black wherever you go across the Caribbean.
Mm.
You get what I mean? So the importing structure, it's, if you're going to import, for example, from the Caribbean, you know that you're getting it from black farmers in the Caribbean. If you're going to import it from Africa, you have a wider range because it's a bigger continent. You get what I mean? So you have that. But again, we have to own our own importing business. You get what I mean? Because if we own our own importing business, Speedy, every shops can sell, they can compete with the prices of other shops. Hair shops within our community, we probably own, say out of 10, probably 0.5.
But what's wrong with getting it from someone else?
In essence, I would say nothing. But in terms of building an economy, I would say everything. A specific economy, which is ours. Do you get what I mean? I touch back on the air products. So many shops I've seen opened by black people that sell air products that we mostly use. And within a year to 6 months, most of them close. Again, they have to sell them a bit more expensive because, again, it goes back to the importing. They can't import the massive pallets because they don't have the community support, because other companies sell them cheaper.
So doesn't it take for like investors to step on? Because obviously there's, you know what it is?
Yeah.
As much as you're saying the black community and the economy, there is black people that are doing well in certain areas, in a lot of areas, maybe not all, you know what I mean? So, and obviously other different people from different backgrounds maybe cover all where we might cover some, you know what I mean? But the areas what you're saying are lacking, me personally, it seems like there's it's like no one of from the black community as such with the let's say qualifications to you know grow them kind of businesses. They're not really interested, it seems like. So then, you know, you'll have your people that have a shot at it, but maybe financially they can't afford it. You get what I'm saying? So now you're talking about we can't compete with the prices of X, Y, and Z, whereas other communities are probably getting investment from, you know, bigger businesses within their communities and so on and so forth. Yeah. Don't you feel like that? Maybe that's a problem.
Is that a massive problem?
Isn't that something that needs to be, you know,
of course,
you get together with people with money to have
with intention to invest.
Yes.
Again, that's another problem. As I said earlier on, we have to re-educate our community to start doing stuff like that. And another thing that we need to also do, because our community is scared of the bank. You get what I mean? We're scared of going to the bank and actually getting business loans and all those things. It's lacking in the community because we have that fear of the bank. Do you get what I mean? We'll show a partner, which is, it's just like saving in the bank, but partner don't give you the interest. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a traditional thing within the black community. But, excuse me, we should always also approach the banks with a proper business plan, etc. And we champion those people from the black community who are doing well. We have to. But we also are looking at some of them to possibly invest. And this is the next problem. We don't want to invest in us because we're scared. Because, as you say, some people don't have the ambition to grow bigger, but you have to. And this is why I say re-educating is important. Because for us to, which is the end aim, to grow our community and to sustain our community, we have to take risk on each other.
So what's your solution then? How can you make a direct impact on
me personally?
Something that you see as a problem? Because obviously I've sat in your barber seat for years, bro, and I've heard you talking about, we need a black supermarket, X, Y, and Z, and you know, and you know, it's not bad ideas, but obviously when you sit down and think about it, the amount of money it's going to cost to even, you know,
start off.
Yeah. And then little things like like when I'm opening a gym or I'm looking for gym locations and stuff. Most of the units that I'm gonna rent are gonna be from. I'm not renting it from black people, and I've had conversations where people can have got plots of land or they've got units in abundance where I can go and link them and yo, I've got these places, check them out. None of these people are black people. Do you get what I'm saying? So maybe it's more of an issue with land ownership.
This is what I said. We don't own anything, Speedy.
And being able to have the opportunities to bring down to people that want to try. You get it?
We don't own.
Or even like leasing shops off black people, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it goes back to, I mean, look at what you've done, bro. You know, I sit down with you all the time and I say we're reasonable talk, bro. I rate what you've done, 110%.
Triangle.
You get what I'm saying? I rate it. I absolutely love it, and you know that I'm a person that, as I said, we have to champion people from our community that's doing well. We can't pull you down for what. We have to support you. We have to. You get what I'm saying? Again, you've touched on it. You rent your space from a non-black person, and again, we don't own. We have to.
But what's the solution, though?
The solution is, Speedy. We have to invest in our community, and that means people that have gone out there. We have to also, as I said, touch onto the banks, and we have to go to them with proper investment, and we can't just say, right.
Yeah, but it's okay to just say, yeah, we have to invest.
Yeah.
It's just too vague, you get me? Like, how are you going to attack this? Like, we need, like, a bit more than that, like, because we know that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But who, how, where, what?
There's loads of wheres, and there's loads of who's, and as I said earlier on, more of us need to go to the bank and say, this is my business plan, this is my 5-year plan. But a lot of people in our community don't have a 5-year, 10-year vision. They have a 1-year vision. That's also a problem. We can't fix everything.
Well, there you go then. So that's what I'm saying. So who are we investing in?
Well, we've got to invest in the people that's got long-term vision.
Who's that?
There are loads of people in this community.
There definitely is, but
they're just not. I just don't think.
Like I says, there's communities that cover most areas in business, especially on the high street. When it comes to, I'm from Caribbean descent, so I'm going to speak on that. It seems like we're just opening restaurants, food shops. Not even restaurants, food shops. Food shops. So when you go down the high street, we'll have a food shop, and then even that, a lot of them start off well and then start to fade as
the customer grows.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, and I don't see much in terms of anything else in terms of convenience stores, this and that. Don't get twisted. I've got a few friends that have got shops off licenses and that, and you know what I'm saying, that are black. You know what I mean? But they're not in abundance. You get it? So, and they're not on every high street. You know what I mean? So
it's a massive problem that we need to tackle. It's an absolute.
But what's the solution, though? That's what I'm saying.
I don't have all the solution, Speedy. But I think part of the solution, for me, the biggest part, I think personally, is for our community.
So, are you building a community? Is that what you're saying? Because
I want to.
I feel like that's where you need to start.
I want to.
That's where I feel you need to start in terms of.
But I also need the help of the community.
Well, there you go then. But if you want the help of the community, obviously, I'm touching on your activist movements, and what you've been doing. Obviously, you say you don't want to speak on it in certain ways and whatever, but you know you've clearly made a start in terms of protesting. From a negative situation, and off the back of it, you want positive actions in it. So if you're saying we have to invest, we this, we that, don't you feel like you need to start building a community? And obviously, I know you've got meetings coming up.
Yeah, we've got a meeting on 24th.
24th.
Yeah, at the King Standing Inn from 6:30 till 8, which we've said we want to invite. It's not a protest meeting. It's a business meeting. So we want the business-minded people in the black community to come out and hear what we have to say, and themselves as well partake. Do you get what I mean? So, we are trying to build a community, Speedy. and as I touched on earlier on, we need the community to want to build.
Well,
Do you get what I mean?
maybe you should open the door to that community in a way, online,
Yeah.
offline, regular meetings, membership. I don't know, something that entices people
to come along and get involved.
Whether they want to invest, whether they just want to learn something, whether they want to educate themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you need to build that. And then if people support you and that community, there'll be money running through.
Money to build, to start. I have to give a shout out to Desmond Jadu and Charlie Williams, because these two guys, since my situation, the support that they've given me, and they have the same vision of a united black community, and hence why this meeting is not just going to be the first meeting and the last meeting, it's going to be the first of many. Do you get what I mean? Because we want to be transparent with the community, because we are trying to build a united community. I've met up with a gentleman last week, which is the imports. It's a shop called Pride of Africa that imports African and Caribbean goods from Caribbean and Africa. And I've had one meeting with them so far, and we've given them some ideas of how to serve both African and Caribbean community, because at the moment they're predominantly African. But as I said, we've given them some ideas of how to now include the Caribbean community, and to say, you know what, come to Pride of Africa, the African and Caribbean community, we've got products that you want. So it's an alternative to going to where we wasn't going before, and it's black owned, where we can say, right, we can start by building this.
Sorry, Warren, let me stop here.
Yeah.
Because the point that I'm trying to make here is that all sounds good,
Yeah.
But I feel like above anything, I feel like you need to know your community. You know what I mean? And the only way you're going to know your community is if you're bringing together people to get to know them. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think
so you can go in that direction.
No, you're right. I think I know the community to an extent.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, what things have you put in place in terms of building, growing that community? So I'm going to give you an example, Obviously, the podcast, Sinners Podcast, obviously, some people see it in certain ways. Yeah. Today, this is Blue Light Providers, so this is more mental health based.
I employ you for that, bro.
Yeah. But you know what, though? That's what I'm saying. We've got a WhatsApp community, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the sports and all them things there, we've got everyone in that group, and they all socialize, you know what I mean? And get to know each other. Yeah. And more so when you get to know each other, you figure out who is who, and you build better relationships.
We've also started a WhatsApp community.
Yeah.
We're getting people involved, and we're talking to people, and we're asking, we're having a conversation. Yeah. We're getting
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm trying to get you to promote more and lead people to go. Where's the community? Like where you know what I'm saying? It's one thing you just saying black this. But you're not actually directing.
So
people.
The WhatsApp community. Obviously, with your permission, we'll attach it to this video when it goes out to this series. So we'll attach it to that, and people that want to get in to understand what we're trying to achieve, and also to give ideas. Because as I said, it's not just a 3-man or 4-man thing; it's a community thing. So we need to have the conversation. And I had a very good conversation the other day, funny enough, in my football group. And when I spoke about one thing, and it led to a 2.5-day discussion. Not about football, but on the community, which was very good, which gave myself ideas. And I gave them a few ideas as well. I've had to be more approachable. Same with myself. To be more open and to be more transparent. As I said, for starters, we've got the meeting on the 24th, we've got the WhatsApp community. We are in the midst at the moment of setting up an Instagram page. And the Instagram page will be very good. As I said, for the community again, it will have information, it will have alternative. We are also doing an online list of shops within the community alternatives instead of spending outside or even in the community, not spending at black shops. This is now giving you direct access to all these shops, um, where you have address, you have phone numbers, you have a list of things, what they sell. Do you get what I mean? This is what we're going to provide, you know. So I implore people, as I said, click on the link that you will see or the barcode and join our WhatsApp group, the Black Power WhatsApp group, and talk to us, because we have to get the ideas from the community. You get what I mean? Because it's a together thing. We can't just decide to say, yeah, because we're coming with this idea of a united black community. And believe me, you know, Speedy, since my situation have happened, I've had so many people reach out to me, and I have to thank these people because the support, it's been immense. And it's not just my situation. There's been so many more situations across.
But the one thing I want to say about that, I'm not trying to put a negative spin on it, but you just says like a shop will open up and it won't even last a year or 2 years. So the support that you're having right now will come and it might fade, but that's not going to be anyone's fault. It's going to be it's just how it goes in life. If you don't build on
fade if we continue.
if you don't build on the momentum, that's what I'm trying to say.
We're not trying to let this go, Speed.
Yeah. So that's why when I'm talking about your communities and what's going on, I just want to hear more like full on direction. This is the community. This is where you can come for that. These are the leaders. These are the people that are looking to control it. These are their credentials. These are the people that want to teach others to build and learn to invest, and then, you know, maybe even workshops or whatever. 100%. And then, you know, carry on from there. You get me?
All what you've just said, Speedy, is what will be provided. All these information, once you join the WhatsApp group, it will be provided in there. And as I said, it's a steady progress that we're looking to build and lead into goals. Do you get what I mean? Because we're not just looking to do this and there's no end goal. There has to be end goals, or else there'll be no point. Do you get what I mean? But the support that we're getting at the moment, we have to capitalize on the support and make sure the support stays. Do you get what I mean? Make sure the support stays with us and make sure that we can also provide valuable information to them to make them want to build. Do you get what I mean? And as you said, someone like yourself, I mean, the conversation that we've had previously, and I have to say, I have to rate you for advice that you've given me. Do you get what I mean? Because we have to take advice from each other, peers to peer, to grow. Do you get what I mean? So, cool to see you, brother.
Thank you very much, bro.
Do you know what I mean? But as I said, I'm sorry to cut you, brother. On this video, as I said, we will attach the link to join the group and the WhatsApp number. And also, if you follow my page, which is DJ Warren G, for the time being, we are going to set up an independent page. Not just a Warren G page, but we're also going to set up an independent page for the community. You get what I mean? Where they'll have, as I said, all the information for the relevant shops and be transparent on what we are doing.
Say no more, then, bro. We have to do this again. Where this progression, you get what I'm saying?
100%. And I agree, because as well as yourself, holding me accountable to making sure that we have to stick to what we're saying. I have to do that, and I think it's also good because the people out there are going to want to see progress. They want to see the work that's going on. But what I will ask is for patience, because it won't take a day. Do you get what I mean? And
I don't think people will care about the patient side, because
they just want to see results.
That's it, progression. Because like you says, you just said it yourself. People are going to say, "Shut up, no one cares," all that stuff. It's not about whether no one cares.
We've had that.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. But that's going to be people's opinion. But obviously, if you're championing it and you want change, then sometimes, you know, it's got to be you that makes that happen. You get what I'm saying? And maybe that's your talent. You get me? But like I says, just, you know, build on that community, bro.
We're gonna, bro, and because it's needed. You know, it's needed. And once again, I want to just say thank you to the community for supporting me personally and my family through the ordeal that we've had to go through. And I also want to say thank you to them for realizing that our community now more than ever needs a unity and are working to come together. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Say no more, bro.
And thank you for having me. One love, brother.